everybody!
It's Disney Detonation coming at you from the Disney Detonation Studios in New Jersey, and today I'm gonna go over I'm gonna split my cruise up into two vlogs, and because it's like overwhelming unless you're walking around like this all the time, and trying to cut things up from different times of the vacation, and it's just strange. So this is the equipment I used. It's a wannabe Hero GoPro. It's probably about 6 years old, 7 years old. It says 4K, but at the time I got it, it was pretty comparable to a GoPro. Now it's pretty much a piece of garbage. This is my waterproof camera. This is also the same age. It's a Fuji Fine Pix. It's very old. So if you are one of those people who can't stand low quality video, or it's not in HD or 4K, it's time for you to bail. So I'm just gonna kind of wing through this because I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done this before as far as my own vlog with my own videos. So here we go. So this was the ride into port into Bayonne, New Jersey. Now, I didn't realize before I started everything I could put crappy music behind this. That's actually, I use Choral Studios, and this music is free. So rather than just hear everyone banter in the car, I just put this silly music in. I've only got to do it with two videos because I didn't realize I could do it, or how to do it actually. So I thought this was pretty cool, rolling up to the ship, because I've never done this before. I mean, I had no idea what to expect as far as how it, with customs and how do you get into the ship. Usually I hop on a plane. So here's walking across I don't know if it's called a gangway. It's like a tunnel into the ship, which was pretty cool. This is a very strange dock because it's like in a shipyard, like a container shipyard. It was really weird. Going into the ship. So this is what the room looked like, this is prior to realizing I could put crappy music behind everything. I mean, this is a bigger room. I mean, I couldn't believe how small this bathroom was. I mean, the shower's like a tube. But I don't feel like I properly showered the entire cruise. And this is the balcony, which was fantastic during the night. I've never seen so many stars before. It was really, really awesome. So another great thing about they have awesome room service. So back in the day, Disney used to do this kind of thing. Back in the day, they would turn the towels into like animals. I mean, I only have three. Some of them are pretty elaborate. I've seen other people on the cruise. They had like octopuses, and it was like really, really cool. It was a different animal each day we were there. So here's a view from the balcony of the Manhattan skyline. There's the Freedom Tower. I mean, this was really cool. And then over, as I keep panning, you can see one of the Staten Island ferries. It's pretty wild. I've been on one of those in a snowstorm. It's pretty crazy. Okay, here's the second video. I didn't realize the Statue of Liberty was right in front of us, but there it is. And there's the Statue of Liberty. I thought that was pretty wild. Okay, I thought this is another thing that really struck me. So this is the Manhattan skyline, and in the center there, it looks like it looks like that's Stark Towers. At least it did to me. So I zoomed in on it, and this is what it looked like. It looks even more like Stark Towers, but the building is called Hudson Yard, and this is like a clearer picture of it from, I guess, street view. And so we'll get rid of this one. Move this over. And here's the Stark building. I mean, they look pretty similar, right? I thought so. I thought it was pretty interesting. And then the Avengers building. All right, so let's move on. So one of the cool things about this whole trip that I was looking forward to, they on the ship, they have a helicopter pad in the front of the ship, and we go underneath the Verrazano Bridge on the way out of I guess Hudson Bay or whatever they call it. I mean, the mic on this camera is just garbage, so I turned it real low. But you can see all the people up there. And there was all people at the top of this thing. I didn't know what it was at the time. But apparently it's like there's it's like a frequent miles type of thing for cruisers. I mean, it was pretty. I've never to see the Verrazano from this perspective was, I thought was insane. I mean, I guess the video doesn't do it justice, but this, the Verrazano Bridge is massive. It's a 4-lane. It's a double decker. Like there's cars on top and the bottom of the span. And it was such a beautiful day. This is the crazy part about it for me. I had no idea. Like I thought the bridge was going to decapitate some of these people that were watching it on that frequent cruiser area, that lounge. It's amazing. I mean, it looked like it was just going to rip the top of the boat off. It was pretty wild. I took the sound.
See that every day.
Alright, enough of that. So now, the deck plan of the ship. So, let's see. Deck 9. This is where I was, 95, 28. So I was able, over here is like some sort of outpost or some sort of protrusion where there's someone in there that helps guide the ship when they're docking and it's some sort of lookout, which is pretty wild. All right, so let's go back. All right, so this is a view from my room in the open sea. So that's the protrusion I was telling you about, where the guy's in there looking around. I mean, and you see some, and that thing over there is a hot tub that hangs over, which I didn't go in. But at night, you see some pretty crazy things. It's like, it's very weird. So this is this is outside, on the outside where the pools are. I got this thing was like we had the drink package, but I had to pay $10 for this specialty drink. So these are the pools. This is the main pool area. And we're back to that. So this is the dining area.
There's Captain Jack Sparrow.
And it's like I think it's 4 levels, this entire dining area. And underneath here is a stage, and this is like the second to last night. So they had all these people on this bottom floor. I guess maybe it's the more expensive rooms or whatever, but they had them all involved in a show. Even so you have the same waiters the entire trip, and they were all dancing. mean, it was pretty spectacular. That the food was, I guess, decent. I mean, most of the time there's a cafeteria type place that you eat it called. I think it's called the Windbreaker. And it was so mobbed all the time. It's like you're just constantly fighting with people to get, the food stations. So okay, so here is the Hoof and Claw. That's another thing. So here's the promenade when we first got there. It's like, and they light it up during the day, and because it's completely inside, so it's kind of like a shitty '90s mall, I would say. It's just got a bunch of retail stores and like I think 3 bars. There's the Hoof and Claw. There's a wine bar. I think I forgot what it's called. And then if you keep going down, there's the R bar. But this is the Hoof and Claw, which is pretty much like an English bar. I like this place the best. They had an awesome old fashioned, and they have live music. This is what it looks like inside. From this guy, I mean, the guy who sang in here looked to me just like the little sweet from Dr. Pepper. Let's see. I mean, it's not crowded here, but there were days where it was mobbed. I mean, and he didn't take requests really. Like, we tried to get him to play a few songs, and he was just like, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. So I'll tell you what the promenade looks like as far as the deck goes. So I knew this was probably going to be boring compared to the other stuff, but here it is. So here's the promenade. There's the Hoof and Claw you can see there. This is a pizza joint. These things are just trying to sell you crap, clothes. The Vintages is the wine place. These two places are like the best as far as I'm concerned. There's a bar called Schooners, which is got a pianist, sort of like Jelly Rolls or like Pat O'Brien's, but they are not even close to the talent level that you get there. And there's the Bar R, which is, each one of these places pretty much sells all the same type of alcohol. So this is the Starlin. This is another bar. And they had a salsa band, which is pretty cool. But there's nobody here. These guys were playing to basically no one. When I put the camera up, it's like they actually turned to me because I saw I was videotaping and sort of played to the camera. I thought that was a little interesting. It's like bongos back in the day. Bongos on at Disney Springs. All right, this is another really good bar. It's called Olive and Twist, and it was on the I think the 12th level, 12th deck, as they say, or like, as they call it. So. No, that's not it. It's even higher. 13. Whatever. So this is the view from the Olive and Twist. Now, if you see... All right, so that's Bermuda. This is the shipyard area, and that little island there of rubber is like a water park, and I'll talk about that in the next video. So right here, if you look over on the left-hand side, past that silver, there's like another like Star Lounge back there that we can't go in. You need like a special key. So what I did was I extended that little thing I showed you, and went over the little area where it looked in. And this is the bar there. This is all the people who have
I'm not going to talk about
cruiser miles or whatever you want to call them. All right, and also another weird thing is this place has a church. So I'm assuming the captain will marry you, but I don't know why you wouldn't want to get married. This whole boat was like themed from the 90s, it seemed like. This is so odd. And this church was in the back of the Olive and Twist. Just weird. So then they also had an art gallery, which I thought was interesting because they had Disney art in it. And also this on air, I'm going to walk through there with this on this video as well. So it was just, I mean, like we actually attended an auction. I mean, they had art that they were selling here for like $35,000. This was like DC and like and then Disney World. It was very weird. And then the company that's here, I think, is Park West, and it's like a global art gallery. They're all over the place. I think there's one in Manhattan. There's a waffle guy. And here's another thing. So this on-air place is a place where you can watch movies. And I think they had a couple of NFL games on while we were there, but the sound quality and the picture quality was absolute trash. They had the Super Mario or Brothers movie was terrible. And then here's like there's a comedy sort of a comedy club, and then beyond that is another venue where you can watch plays. I think they had Saturday Night Fever, which we caught the tail end of once, and it was just not for me. But this is another one. Oh yeah, so I just did more of the Disney art. We don't need to see that. And so here's another pretty cool thing. This is the you can walk around right where the screws are, where the propellers are. And this was the sunset on the aft of the boat, which is really cool. And I guess the picture quality isn't that bad. So on the way back, it got a little rough. So from my balcony, you could see the spray was coming off the front end of the boat. And you could see a rainbow, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know how pronounced it is in this video, but it was pretty vivid from the balcony. And here, so I was in the promenade again, and I don't know if you can see it, but the ship is listing like an inch and a half right now to the right. You can see the bubbles to the right, and you can see it's going like 1.5 to 0, 1.5 to 0. So it was pretty rough. There it goes. I mean, at one point, a glass slid off the table. So this is the aft again. This is like a protrusion that comes out to the side, and the wind was like insane. I mean, it almost felt like you get blown off the side of the boat, and which was another weird thing, because you couldn't get in any of the doors. They had closed off all the doors along that. Those railings. So I had to actually walk from one end of the boat to the other to get out of there. Okay, so this is in the promenade, one of the last nights that we were there. So they have this walkway across the promenade where they would have live bands. A lot of times they'd have like dance parties in the middle of this promenade. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know how people get into this. They like a disco party and everyone's dancing in the middle of this promenade. You know, like in the middle, it would seem like a mall. So, all right. So, there, like, I didn't want to turn this into a slideshow. I'm already hitting 20 minutes. There was like, I was going to show you the schooner bar. You know what? I'll still show it to you. So here's the schooner bar. This is where the piano was. They had some pretty cool drinks. They had a toasted marshmallow old fashioned, which I thought was excellent. And these are the sort of floofy drinks. And this is the old fashioned. And that's about it. So, I mean, you know, this is my first attempt at doing anything like this. I hope I didn't bore the shit out of you guys. I think the Bermuda one's going to be better. My daughter, like I showed you that rubber water park. My daughter almost drowned in that thing. I literally had to jump in the water to go and rescue her because the people that were running this thing they just were like a bunch of kids, didn't know what they were doing. All right, so that's it for today. Well, that's not it for today because I'm going to do another video in a few minutes about, well, you could probably all figure it out. So, end transmission.